So one other thing I think is important here is, as you put numbers up, you have to have the time period be correct. So what is short term? What is medium term? What is long term? Because you have to be consistent between the total amount spent and the new customers. Otherwise, you're not comparing things properly.
Exactly, and to be able to compare this back to the LTV from before, short term is year 0 and 1, medium term being year 2 and 3, and long term 4 and 5. And so, and if you look at some of these values here about this expenditure between the short term and the medium term, for instance, in the short term, that $170,000 includes year 0, where not a whole lot is happening in terms of the sales.
Yeah, so it's really 1 year versus 2 years as you go out there.
Correct.
Let's now talk about the new customers. So actually how many devices we're going to sell. So in this short term, as I mentioned, 1 whole year is going to be dedicated to developing the product. And so in that second year, we expect to sell 280 devices. So that might seem like a low number, but every device we sold was extremely hard to sell. The kind of seeds we plant that will then flourish and help us sell way more devices.
And most likely, most of these devices will be sold by you guys, right? You will be doing the sales, going out and meeting the customers.
Exactly, like we explained in the previous board. But then, as we move out of these alpha and beta devices, and we ship a real product that's proven and that helps people improve their performance, we expect in the medium term to sell 40,000 devices. And by putting these devices in the market, we raise awareness. We show the benefits of our device, and everyone wants them in the longer term. And that's why in the longer term, we sell 700,000 devices. So kind of this is the plan we have in terms of how many devices we're gonna sell. And with this information, we can directly divide our COCA for the 3 terms. So in the short term, we're spending a lot, not selling too much, and our COCA is roughly $600, which is a lot.
Yeah, twice as large as the LTV.
Exactly, right? So I pay $600 to have someone buy my device for $300.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. But that leads us to the medium term, where we're selling more devices, spending more at the same time, but our COCA is down to roughly $110. And in the longer term, we expect our COCA to be only $21. So we will spend $21 to have someone buy our device, which is going to cost $300. So that $15 million number, which might have seemed huge at the beginning, in fact, will generate very profitable sales.
Looking at this picture, Bill, it seems that it is critical for these guys to work on driving their COCA down.
Absolutely. And you see here with this kind of simple matrix, which is simplifying the business dramatically, but you start to see how important the number of units is and kind of what a break even is just to get to 300. So if they say 40,000, that's a huge jump from 280, even if it's going from 1 year to 2 years.
Yeah.
But if they do 20, their cost of customer acquisition still is about $200, and their their LTV is at 300. So you're starting to get the number's not going to be 40,000. But now you're starting to understand this relationship here. We have a simple way to understand it. And now that's planted in their head, and they're going to start monitoring the unit economics and thinking about it in the proper way. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get in, make our entrepreneurs intelligent so that when things happen, they can process it, frame it, and then make the right decision. So I like the way this is laid out. Will it work this way? Heck no, it won't work out this way. But will Dan and Alessandro be able to think about how to adjust and get their cost of customer acquisition down? Yes, they know what drives that. Can they spend that amount of money? It depends on how many customers they get. And they can't be spending more than $300 over the long term, and they have to get to the steady state, which they call the long term, where it's a very robust, LTV of $20. That's terrific. When COCA is $20 and the LTV is going to be $300, that's a very attractive business. But there's a lot of room there when they get to steady state. So that's in essence what we're looking at. The specific numbers, yeah, they matter, but it's more the model that we're talking about here.